When you're in a match, you have to have three things integrated, and that's your head, your heart, and your guts. If only two are happening when you're playing, or one, you're not at your peak performance. And the champions do that better than anybody else.
Oh, can you believe it? Sensational tennis.
Oh, that's tremendous.
The head, heart, and guts, constantly. That's what makes greatness.
The Dane, Caroline Wozniacki, wins her very first Grand Slam.
He has done it. A sensational 6 for Federer down under.
It's been 50 years since I won the Australian Open. Yikes. When I won the Open in 1968, it was very different back then. First, it was amateur. We didn't make any money. I think Margaret Court got an umbrella one year for winning. So we had very few people who watched us. We didn't get a lot of attention. The players today are living my generation's dream for them. But the game's still the same. You know, it's ground strokes, it's volley.
What an extraordinary volley.
It serves. People can get excited.
It'll do it for the defending champion.
3 sets to love. 6-4, 6-4.
This is about the people coming to watch.
Oh, it's too good.
We're performers. We're entertainers.
Wow. Oh, what a ridiculous shot. Are you kidding me?
This is for them to have a great experience.
Oh, there's a thunderbolt. How good was that?
I just love coming back because without the Australians, I would have never been #1 in the world. There's a lot of joy here and a lot of happiness and a lot of rowdiness and all that. And that's what I like.
It's one of the best slams in terms of the way they look after their player, the support of the crowd, how passionate the crowd is about the sport. I think Australians are famous for being passionate about sport in general, so that comes through in the way they cheer on the matches and their players.
Even the outside courts are always really full of fans, so, you know, it's just, I would say it's really one of the best Grand Slams.
The Australians are the most fun. Everyone's rested. They come in here, they haven't seen each other for a couple of months. Hi, you see them like reconnecting. It's fascinating.
It's a special feeling coming to Melbourne. I like to say that because every time you come to Melbourne, it feels like obviously it's a new start, a new beginning.
Yeah, you know, it's always one of the first tournaments in the season, so I'm always really fresh and full of energy.
Last year was such an amazing tournament, and the year was so crazy that you fast forward 1 year later, you're here again and you're talking about defending the title.
Last year was a great tournament. This too, that was a tough final for me because I had good chances at the end, but that's it. I don't know, this year is a little bit different. I arrived with a little bit different preparation, but I still feel myself playing well.
You know, I still wouldn't be shocked if we had another Fed versus Rafa, and you know what? Don't discount Joker. You know, even though it's his first tournament back, I think he's got a lot to prove, and I definitely think Kyrgios has a possibility of winning this tournament.
You know, I never cheer for players. I just don't think that's a professional way to go at it. But I do cheer for storylines. And to me, I think what would be good to see right now would be an intergenerational final. One of the oldsters, Federer, Nadal, even Djokovic, if he came back, against one of the young guys.
I think still Roger is the man to beat. I think somebody will have to play better than their average tennis to beat Roger's average tennis.
I don't feel like I'm the overwhelming favorite or the favorite, to be honest. I think that always is the world #1 should be that guy, and Rafa had a great season last year as well. So he should be there. He's younger than I am, and you know, he knows how to win slams as well. So he should be that guy. And I also think Novak, even though we don't know where he is right now, but he is a 6-time Australian Open champion. He loves this court here.
Well, if you got a dartboard on the women's, just throw a dart on there. I think 35 women seriously could win this tournament. With no Serena here, I think it's incredibly wide open.
It is indeed open, and it's just not always the case. People say that a lot, but in fact, there's probably 7 or 8 players who have a chance. In this case, you're probably looking at double digits.
It's a new situation, and it's unique because when you are number one in the world, feels a little bit special, everything.
If you don't have a bit of butterflies, you're doing something wrong. So I think every time you go out there, you have a bit of butterflies, but it's always good. You know, it's just excitement to go out there and play.
From the land down under and the city tucked beneath its southern tip, Melbourne, Australia, we bring you sunshine and sport. The Grand Slam season begins with the Australian Open. It is day one at Melbourne Park, and we're live.
It's a big win for Bencic. She beats Venus Williams for the first time in her career.
3 words to sum up America's first day at the Australian Open.
It was awful. It was awful.
Last year's semi-finalist out first round.
Sloane Stephens, Venus Williams and Coco all come crashing down.
Well, there aren't many American stories left.
A stunning victory for Australia's Matthew Ebden. Knocks out the 16th seed.
Today was probably one of the worst days for American tennis.
But that's what the Australian Open's all about. It provides upsets.
It's been too much for Muguruza to handle on a searingly hot day here in Melbourne. We have another upset.
Huge moment this. Stan, he'll be back. It's going to be a build 2018.
New champions are made here at the Australian Open.
That's too good.
So one of the sensational stories we've had is Kostyuk, who is the 15-year-old who beat Pong in the first round here. Now, she got her Instagram account verified after that match, and overnight she'd gained 15,000 followers on Instagram.
I heard a lot of times that I'm talented, but only talent will not help me to play good.
I bet that you ain't never seen a chick so bad.
I'm working pretty hard.
Somehow Marta Kostyuk comes through into the 3rd round in her first ever main draw Grand Slam.
The 560 players, 178 were from the Asia-Pacific region, so that number's grown. Never used to be like that. So it's more and more players coming out of our region.
Oh, she's pulled off the incredible! And she's done it. Unorthodox, unusual style, but it's a delight to watch.
10 years' time, 20 years' time, I think the majority are going to be from this region.
One of the biggest stories that's been brewing for a little while now is Chung. You could see it growing a bit when he beat Zverev, and when he beat Djokovic, he just became an internet sensation, basically. It was crazy. At the moment, anything we post about Chung is absolute gold and gets thousands of likes.
He's like the only Korean that's actually in the Grand Slam. And yeah, he's in the semi-finals now.
We haven't seen a lot of Asian faces in the tournament, and so we're pretty happy for him.
So what's the best story? You got to say that Chung would be the best story at this point, just because of where he's from.
When I'm young, I'm just trying to copy Novak because he's my idol, so...
Roger said the other day that tennis will always find its new superstars.
It's just the start of his career. It's going to be a good one.
I think it's great because it's the old against the very new.
Nick Kyrgios.
And you don't know how it's going to pan out.
Well, I think it's the same thing that makes him appealing to everybody around the world, really. I mean, it's that he makes the easy look hard and the hard look easy. That's the way I'd put it. When he plays tennis, you never know what you're going to get. Unpredictable in terms of his behavior, but the shot making when it's on is spectacular. He can do things with the ball I have rarely seen anybody do in 30 years of covering tennis.
Rod Laver Arena erupts. One of the best wins of his career.
I was so nervous, no joke. And I was like, oh my God, like I gotta like, people think I'm cool, but I just wanted him to think I was like the coolest person ever.
This has become an attraction globally for everyone, people in the entertainment industry, in the music industry, and we want to keep that going.
A huge star is in the house. Will Smith, a rousing Melbourne welcome.
His name is Will Ferrell.
ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Will Ferrell.
That's more than a tennis event now, isn't it? It's a show.
Looks like Will Smith's getting in on the selfie action.
Oh, he's loving it.
I'm entering in the draw.
You ready?
I'm ready. Come on, Raja! I'm a big tennis fan, and it has exceeded expectations.
Stay classy, Melbourne.
It was warm. I think it got warmer as the match went on.
Now standing out here, we can feel the heat resonating off the court. How did you feel today? It's a hot one.
Yeah, it's definitely hot. My feet are burning.
That's Melbourne. That's what we're used to.
It sort of came on, like in that fourth set.
It was surprising because it's pretty rare in a Grand Slam that he will be looking good like that in a match and then retire. He's retired along the way before.
He was in so much pain, you could see him just like grimacing, and I thought that's it. And the next thing was he took the headband off, which is his classic end of match.
To see him suddenly start to limp and go down was surprising.
And Rafael Nadal is unable to continue.
Every day is a new day and a new opportunity.
I'm just trying to focus, but my feet is not working good, so I don't know.
Well, I knew he was, having issues with his feet going into it, but I knew he also had issues going into the match against Novak, and he handled that very well, and the same against Sandgren.
Slow to get up there. This is not good. This looks like he's going to stop.
I think unfortunately, Mr. Chung isn't able to continue to play in the tires.
Oh my goodness.
And Roger Federer is through to the finals, so once again.
I never worry about who's not here. You only focus on what's happening tomorrow.
I'm feeling really, really good. Physically, I'm playing much more aggressive.
Marin Cilic is into the Australian Open final. It's a third major final of his career. He ends a magnificent fortnight for Kyle Edmonds, and he'll get a shot at a second major.
One of my favorite matches of all time was Halep and Kerber. That semifinal was truly, truly amazing to me.
And we are headed for a third set here. The ship has been righted by the German. 3-6, 6-4.
How, first of all, Kerber didn't start well at all, gets down 5 love. How she was able to kind of come back, make that great comeback in the second, and then that third. Some of their rallies, 26 shots, 20 shots, time and time again. Both players left everything out on the court, and truly, I got to call it for TV. It was one of the greatest matches that I've been a part of.
What a point. What a match. What courageous play by both players. Match point number 4. The number 1 player in the world will have an opportunity to play for the title here in Australia. What a terrific match, and what a beautiful gesture by both players. They gave everything today.
It's such a bizarre feeling, you start the tournament and it's so crowded, there's barely any place in the locker room or the player restaurant, and then you come around and there's very few people left. For Halep or Wozniacki, it's going to be an incredible moment for them to win their first Grand Slam.
If we look at the women's final, you couldn't have hoped for better. You got the world number 1, the world number 2. You got a story of whoever wins, they win their first major, they become the world number 1. I think it's brilliant for the women's game. I think it's the exact story that they needed. I think their matches have been extraordinarily high quality.
It's my dream to win a Grand Slam title.
I'm just excited. It's another finals. It's another great 2 weeks, and regardless of what happens now, I've done my best. When you go out there on Saturday, you have everything to win.
Caroline Wozniacki prevails. Can she break her Grand Slam duck here in Melbourne?
First Grand Slam of the year, first final here, so I take it like a nice thing, and with good thoughts, nothing else.
To finish is so difficult. Rod Laver has a great quote. The most vulnerable time in a match is when you're ahead. And he's absolutely correct. Finishing is really difficult.
It's a beautiful evening here in Melbourne. All the work, all the preparation, all the matches, all for this. An opportunity to walk out onto Rod Laver Arena for the 2018 Australian Open Women's Final.
From Denmark, Caroline Wozniacki. From Romania, Simona Halep.
Everybody is ready for what is going to be an absolute cracker.
When I ask a young player, why did you win? And that's what you really have to know. What are your strengths? What makes you who you are? What are your weapons?
And she gets it in 15 minutes. Dad calm, Caroline not, but she gets over the line.
What are they? Is it your physicality? Is it your emotional mental? Is it your forehand? Is it your backhand? Is it your volley? Is it your serve? What makes you great?
Unbelievable effort here. Somehow she limpers over the line, takes the second set. Simona Halep in 1 hour 38 minutes. We are into a third.
Because champions always have at least two weapons that for some reason they can pull it off when it matters. And they're also able to raise their game level when a lot of players cannot do that.
The fighting spirit, you know, I think in my case, I never give up no matter what the score is. I always try and find a way to win.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable effort from Caroline Wozniacki. Well, the moment has arrived for Caroline Wozniacki. It's championship point.
Every great champion has plan A, plan B, and plan C out there and just tries to find any way to win a match.
Halep nets! And Caroline Wozniacki drops to the surface of Rod Laver Arena. She's flat on her back. It's a moment of utter elation.
The Australian Open is owned by this young lady here, Caroline Wozniacki, in a mammoth match. It's an epic battle. And you got to feel sorry for Simona Halep.
I'd like to call upon Billie Jean King.
Billie Jean King has done everything for women's tennis. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be here where we are today.
Australian Open champion, Caroline Wozniacki.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Great. Well done. Thank you. You guys taught me reminded me never to give up. Thank you. Great. Awesome.
I've dreamt of this moment for so many years, and to be here today is a dream come true, and my voice is shaking. I never cry, but today it's a very emotional moment.
If you only win one, you've done it, which is great. That first one's always the hard one. You know, it's interesting. People always say, what does it feel like to hold the trophy or the plate up? And I'm going, actually, it's relief. It's like, I finally did it. It's really the process and the journey to get there that you really appreciate.
Winning my first Grand Slam and on top of that, becoming world #1 again. I couldn't have scripted it any better. And, you know, I think ups and downs are part of life and a part of sports, but, you know, I never give up, and I just kept fighting and kept working hard and in the hopes and dreams of reaching this point one day.
I think Cilic is going to have the advantage of having already played last year's Wimbledon final. I think he was overawed by that experience. I think as a player he had dreamt of that moment. He's got a US Open under his belt. He beat Federer in the semis there. He's had the experience of last year. He's nothing to lose. Federer, it's his tournament to lose rather than the other way around.
The men's singles final of the 2018 Australian Open. The Walk of Champions. Federer's done it here on many occasions. It's a first for Marin Cilic.
From Croatia, Marin Cilic.
Bidding to become the first Croatian player, man or woman, to win the title here.
Roger Federer.
A man who needs no introduction. He's already got 5 under his belt. Looking for number 6 this evening. The do-over, break point again for Federer.
I want to watch the best all the time to understand what makes them so good. And there's these certain elements that always come through.
That was a nervous overhead. He should have let that bounce.
The head, the heart, and the guts. And you have to be all in.
He's made it.
all of yourself has to be in this to be the best you can be.
And a clinical opening stanza from Roger.
I'm not doubting myself too much. I'm not getting also too nervous.
Oh, there's a point of rich quality.
My mindset is always ready in the same way.
He's got it. It's game on.
I look at it as it is another match, not a big Grand Slam final.
You're always hungry at this stage of the competition, otherwise something's wrong.
Finally, he picks off one of Federer's sliders.
I've worked very hard for exactly this moment to be in, that I'm healthy, that I'm fit, that I'm hungry.
He's got the break.
I just have to play one more good match and hope that Marin doesn't catch fire, and even then I'll try to fight it off.
That was right out the top draw. What a way to shut the gates on set number 3. Took 29 minutes for Roger to get a 2-1 lead. It has been an absolute corker here. There's no reprieve.
Emotions are difficult to control, and when you get on the court, you never know what is going to happen.
Federer waving that Wilson wand so beautifully.
To be playing on these big courts, big matches,
he's got it!
They don't happen as often, so you want to be focused as much as you can on what you have to do and try to execute those things the best way possible.
We are going the distance here on Rod Laver Arena for the second year in a row. Fasten your seatbelts, folks. Well, you've got to play the big points well in our sport. He's got the double break. And he will serve for his 6th Australian Open title.
As a professional athlete, you know, you have to be very precise everything you do, because every little detail could actually matter down the road.
Oh, he's got to wait again. It's back-to-back years this has happened.
It takes an amazing amount of strength.
It's good!
Emotionally, mentally.
A sensational 6 for Federer down under.
And physically.
Federer embraces Cilic at the net after 3 hours and 3 minutes of intense drama.
The head, heart, and guts. That's what makes greatness.
To receive the Norman Brooks Challenge Cup from Switzerland, but loved all over the world, our champion for 2018, Roger Federer.
You guys, you fill the stadiums, you make me nervous, you make me go out and practice, and just like to thank you for everything. And my team, I love you guys. Thank you.
What's the magic of Roger Federer?
Oh, Roger Federer. He is so versatile. He's so smart. He's so adaptable. He loves pressure. He's by far the best ever. It's not even close.